Earth round, Earth flat. Earth round, Earth flat. Earth round, well, you get it. Hi, John McGrail back with another edition of A Better You in a minute or two. And I'm just reiterating my very corny but apt metaphor about the kinds of realities that we can create. I'd like to thank everybody who wrote in about last week's episode, in particular the quantum reality equation, which, as I mentioned, is somewhat oversimplified, but does really nicely illustrate what scientists are proving in laboratories around the globe, that through our energetic interchanges, we do create our own reality. And when we embrace that concept and take responsibility for it, we flip the switch energetically from being victims at effect to being creators, manifestors. A lot of you also notice that next to those little arrows between consciousness and its environment are three very important words: law of attraction. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, the law of attraction is a universal law which basically says that which is like unto itself is attracted. Or you could say birds of a feather flock together. You don't see crows hanging out with pigeons. Or as ye sow, so shall ye reap. In fact, the law of attraction is mentioned over 200 times in the Bible. It's a universal law and it's been around forever. And it basically says what you put out into the universal field where there is no contrast. Remember, there's no good or evil out in nature. Out in nature, energy just flows. So what you put out is going to have a huge effect on what you attract back. If I take this little earth-round golf ball and I let it go, it doesn't go up. It's attracted to the bigger ball, the earth. Now, as I mentioned last week, when we get really good, not just at accepting responsibility for creating our own realities, but at the way we manifest our energy, we can pretty quickly learn to live rule number one. Life is supposed to be fun. And that's actually the thrust of today's episode. What does that mean? I use that phrase with every client, every workshop student, on all the radio and TV shows I do whenever I get a chance, because I really believe it. And people misconstrue it. They think I mean that life is supposed to be this endless series of parties and we just skip blithely down the primrose path. And of course that would be both boring and unrealistic. And if you ever watch somebody that tries to live that way, they almost always crash and burn. No, what it means, I think, can be best encapsulated by one of my favorite quotes of all time. Christopher Morley said, "There is only one success: to spend your life the way you want." Now that, to me, is a lot of fun. What does it mean for most of the people I work with and for myself? Well, let's try this on. When you wake up in the morning, you look forward to the day, that you love passionately, hopefully, what you do to make money, because most of us have to do something to make money. If you're doing something you love, you're not working. That you love yourself, honor yourself, respect yourself, and the choices you're making, which has an effect on the relationships you have. You really love the friends that you're interacting with, and your intimate partners, whomever they may be. And when you live that way, and you do it consistently, I'm going to suggest that you're living not only the way you want to, not how everyone's expecting you to live, but that you're living in a way that becomes a lot of fun. Now, does that mean there won't be setbacks along the way? Of course not. That's not realistic either. And I get so many people that are hung up on the concept of, I might fail. So I'm going to suggest something. If there's only one success, maybe there's only one failure. In fact, this concept of failure and the fear thereof, fear of failure, is something that I think is actually worth an episode. And we're going to talk about it next week. In the meantime, earth round, earth flat. Which do you choose?